Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video, and this is a paid request from Kingpin. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, or full playthrough, tier list, ranking, whatever the case may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. I do have a CashApp as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. And another film Kingpin wanted me to check out was Last Breath. I know he has a few others, but I'm trying to sprinkle them among others, just trying to get to them evenly as possible. But thank you, Kingpin. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for your kindness and your patience. Now, Last Breath is based on a true story, and I would say the true story is a bit more interesting than the movie. Not that the movie's bad, but there is a documentary based on the real events, and then one of the directors of the documentary, because that documentary had two directors, one of them actually directed this. And I don't know how the documentary handled the subject, because it is a fascinating subject. It's just, I don't know if it really needed this running time. And it's not like an overlong, if you take out the end credits, it's not like it's a 2.5 hour movie. It's not. But kind of not a whole lot happens in a way. I mean, really, when you really break it down, not a whole lot happens. So before I get into it, to understand what the hell I'm talking about, the film stars Woody Harrelson, who I've always enjoyed as an actor ever since seeing him on the film White Men Can't Jump and Zombieland and Money Train, other films. Always liked Woody Harrelson. He was great in True Detective with Matthew McConaughey. He is part of this three-man team, deep sea divers. They go in to check out the undersea gas lines. I think this takes place in the North Sea. He's the guy that's kind of in the diving bell, feeding the cables, umbilical cords, things of that nature. While the other two, one is Finn Cole, and the other is Simu Liu. Yes, Shang-Chi himself, or as I called him, Bulletproof Month 2. But Simu Liu, these two guys, they go in, they're trying to look at this, how I put it, manifold. One that leads to another, there's a big heavy storm, and the big ship above them, they lose some instruments, some power, some control. So the ship starts gliding away. Starts going away. While it's doing that, it's pulling the diving bell, and then that's pulling the umbilical cords. Unfortunately, one of them, Finn Cole, his gets caught and becomes almost like an anchor. Eventually it snaps and breaks. Simu Liu tells the guy, go to your emergency supply, and he only has 10 minutes of air. Then a good chunk of the film is our lead guy, well, I say lead. The guy who's losing air, he has to go to this place, kind of sit there and wait for help. Simu Liu gets back to Woody Harrelson, and then the crew up top, one of them is Cliff Curtis, who I remember, he was the bad guy in Collateral Damage with Arnold Schwarzenegger. He was in Die Hard with Live Free or Die Hard. Cliff Curtis, he's been in a few films. Good actor. Him and the crew are trying to figure out how they get power back, how they get communication back, how to rectify this. And then they have to kind of manually move the ship so they don't keep drifting away. Someone's able to rewire stuff. And, well, I guess I'm almost to the end of the film, believe it or not. So spoilers. Spoilers. It's based on a true story. So you can read up on the true story, or you already heard of the true story. So spoilers. So when rewire stuff, Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu are able to get a bit of control. Simu Liu goes back, finds the guy, brings him back, and you think the worst of the worst because he had no air for 29 minutes. Although in real life, I think it was like 35 minutes. But in the movie, it was about 28, 29 minutes. Woody does a little bit of mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, and long story short, he's alive. He's out of it, and then he kind of gets out of it, and one of the characters named Dave, so he's like, Dave, you okay? And Woody Harrelson gives a good emotional performance where he's happy and joyful. Simu Liu, he pretty much has one expression for the entire fucking film. I don't think he's that great of an actor. Plus, I don't know what. Forgive me for asking. The three guys, was one of them Asian? Do you see little snippets of the three guys in real life? And whatever. I just an honest, the goodness question. Does it matter? Curiosity. That's why I'm asking. Curiosity. Plus, Simu Liu, he's not a good actor. He was a good actor in Shang-Chi. He wasn't a good actor in this. He had one expression, very kind of wooden performance. Didn't really feel a lot of emotion from him. Tries to be the tough guy, and I didn't really buy it. They do a bit of decompression. The guy, Finn Cole, goes home to his fiancée. They hug, and then they show a little bit of real footage that weeks later he's fine and everything's fine. Eventually he got married to his fiancée. They went back to work, and it's all good. Now, I had to look this up. Again, this is based on a true story. He did survive. I heard it was like 35 or so minutes without air. And I had to look up like how that could have happened. Something to do with... God, I'm going to get this wrong. When you're that low beneath sea level, they have to mess with the oxygen. Because if you have oxygen normal, it'll be actually toxic. Something about the molecules. So they have to have like a little bit of this. And instead of nitrogen, I think they had like helium. Something about it, how the mix of the gases that low, it kind of pumped like twice. Even though it was minimal air, it pumped like twice the air into him. And something like the helium, something about it coming out with the warmth, it kind of put him into a state of like hibernation. So because it pumped like twice the amount of air, his organs had enough air that even though he seemed out of it, they were able to protect the organs. And then the hibernation just went so quickly, hypothermia, something like that, it kind of shut his body down. And in a way where like protected his organs. It's like a weird mixture of gases that only happened because of how deep your sea level, below sea level. So definitely fortunate. And that's not explained in the movie. I had to look that up. And it did fascinating stuff. If this was, and again, the documentary may be lengthy as well, but if this was like a 30-minute program, 40-minute program, I think it would be great. I just don't know if there's enough there for a full-length film. Because you don't get a whole lot about the lead guy other than he has a fiancée. Simu Liu, you don't really know much about him other than he acts tough, and that he doesn't really treat Finn Cole that well. Kind of being a dick. And Woody Harrelson's, oh, don't worry about it. He's always on edge when we do these, but if you see him outside, he's a teddy bear. Woody Harrelson does what he can. I love the guy. And he tells us a little bit about how this is going to be his last what you call it. They're firing him. They're getting ready to kick him out after 20 years. So this is like, this whole thing will be the last time he gets to do this. And then you kind of get into it. You get into going down and the whole situation I explained. It's well photographed. I think the stuff they did underwater looks good. They did as practical as can be. Maybe up top with the wide shots of the ship, maybe CG, but under the water, I think those were really good shots to help try to get that tension and the darkness of it all. It definitely was an interesting setup, especially knowing that it was real. But like Woody Harrelson is good, but when it gets about halfway through and the situation really gets dire and the guy's kind of stuck there, it cuts to the crew, and the crew, we haven't really established them much as characters. I mean, Cliff Curtis, he's the leader, but that's all we know about him. There's the one guy who was talking with Woody Harrelson and them. He kind of jokes around with them a little bit, but we don't really know these characters that much, so it's hard for me to really invest in, okay, they're doing this, get the ROV, the Rove, and we're going to try to attach it and try to grab him. Oh, we can't because he's attached himself to the manifold so he wouldn't be washed away in case he goes unconscious. Okay, this one guy's got to rewire the stuff. But it's like, I don't know who these people are, and I barely know who the lead guy is. I would say Finn Cole was the lead. When he's done, he's done. Like, he's out of it. It's not like you get him having hallucinations or memories or anything, or nightmares or anything of the sort. Like some movies would probably embellish on that. And Woody Harrelson, Simu Liu, they kind of disappear for the middle portion of the movie. So once Simu Liu gets back, other than one or two conversations about Simu Liu going, I guess it's something about getting the body, and Woody Harrelson's like, no, it's not. He wants to believe the guy's alive. Other than one or two quick things, that's it. Like, you don't see much of Woody Harrelson and Simu Liu. They disappear for a good chunk of the middle section. It's more about the crew doing this, doing that, until they're able to get things restarted. And then even then, Simu Liu goes in, grabs the guy, comes back. There's a little bit of tension where the ship is going a bit crazy and the diving bell's ready to kind of swerve. Simu Liu gets the guy, they get in. But I just don't know if there's enough story there for a full-length production. You have to add some stuff, and even then, not a whole lot added to it, so it just kind of... I appreciate some of the underwater filming. I wish Woody Harrelson had more to do, but I get it. If it's based on a true story, you can't really, some embellish too much. So you kind of between a rock and a hard place. Like, if you're following as much as you can, okay, Woody Harrelson's character is just going to be stuck in the diving bell, but you think maybe at least there'd be like him by himself, or think about his life, think about his 20 years, think about how, more in-depth conversation about meeting this guy. Something like that, I don't know. I guess there's that part of me that I appreciate how interesting the true story is based on how long he was under there and able to survive without any after effects, which is good. Part of me wishes they just did a fictional story based on that. So you could have Woody and Simu Liu, okay, they're cut off, but they don't go get this guy, so they try to find a way to jury rig certain things, and maybe this time Woody Harrelson's got to get to diving. He hasn't dived in a long time, so it's a 2-man operation, and I don't know, like something to get Woody Harrelson more involved. Like I said, I just wish Woody Harrelson had more to do. The middle portion kind of got a bit boring. And like I said, it's not a bad film. That's the thing. I don't think this is a bad film. I don't at all. Look up the real life story. It's fascinating. I would think the documentary would be more interesting to watch than this. Again, I don't know how long it is. If it's as long, I don't know what they do. Maybe they get more into the factual details, which is intriguing, of how he survived, which again they don't hear. And I say they don't really get a whole lot into the drama in terms of the characters. Like the characters are very, they don't put a lot to the characters. The writing. Oh, this guy has a fiance. Okay, it's pretty much it. Woody Harrelson, they're going to fire him. Simu Liu, hell, even less so. He tries to act tough and fails. Just Simu Liu again is not a great actor. So as is, it's just kind of there for me. It's not a whole lot to talk about. I would never see the film again. If you watch the trailer and it intrigues you, sure. Again, a big portion of the middle. If you like Simu Liu, he's not in much in the middle. Woody Harrelson, which I like, is not much in the middle. I don't know, man. That's the tricky thing when you do these kind of survival. I mean, 127 hours, technically, that was a guy stuck with his arm in a rock. So you could technically say not a whole lot happens in that, but something about the way Danny Boyle directed it and just made that somehow much more involving, and it's his day-to-day basis of what he had to do and how he had to survive, and you just see more and more desperation, and thus it pulls you more into the story. I mean, the thing is with this, it was a short amount of time. Because if it happens, he's got 10 minutes of air, and then 29 minutes, so that's 40 minutes. That's a 40-minute situation. Well, add in, going to the restroom and stuff. Well, no, they said by the time he got back, 29 minutes. It would include that. So 10 minutes he had air, 29 minutes, so that's 40. A little bit of minutes before and after when they, get to the manifold, they're checking things out afterward, making sure he's okay. So that's, at most 50 minutes. Yeah, I don't know. It was an okay film. Woody Harrelson, when he's there, he's rather good. Cool to see people like Cliff Curtis. Simu Liu was very bland. Finn Cole did fine. It's one of those films that I probably give it maybe a 3 out of 5 because it's fine. Like it's not, again, it's nothing that bad. It's not 2 hours long or anything. It just kind of that reaction. I got more intrigued looking up the real life bits of them figuring out what happened and how he survived, that type of thing. So take that for what you will. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care, and we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.